everybody. So today is Saturday. That means it's time for family movie night. And today we're starting my yearly tradition of Teen Movie Month. This is the month where I review still PG-13 or lower movies, but ones aimed at a little bit older demographic, maybe a little edgier, made for teens. And I've done this for years and years and years. And so I have a playlist with all of my Teen Movie Month reviews that you should definitely check out. And I have a pretty fun little lineup that we're going to be talking about this year, and I'm excited. So definitely make sure that you're tuned in every Saturday for Teen Movie Month. Today, we are going back to the 80s. We are talking about 1987's Can't Buy Me Love. And this is definitely a movie that a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for. And I can see why. And there are some things I like about the film. It definitely has a lot in common with that movement in the 80s of the teen movies, John Hughes, your 16 Candles, your Pretty in Pink, your Breakfast Club, all of that in there. It's definitely a strong PG-13 and 80s PG-13. It's got the F word at one point. It's got lots of sensuality, a lot of other things that might make it R-rated today. But yeah, it's an interesting film, one that I'm honestly quite torn on. I think that there are a lot of other movies from this era that do the same thing that it's doing better. So I can't say that I can necessarily recommend it, but I can see why it has some nostalgia and people love it, especially because it's got Patrick Dempsey, of course we know and love, and it's got some iconic scenes like him driving off on the lawnmower and everything like that. I think that the story, while I do appreciate that it's not afraid to have sort of more unlikable characters and to go to maybe some darker places with the characters, I appreciate that, but I don't think it quite brings it back up to us liking the characters. I think it stays kind of unpleasant too long, and that's a tricky balance. I think that Some Kind of Wonderful, that actually came out the same year, does a very similar thing, but I think it succeeds better. That I think that Leah Thompson's character in that movie is much more nuanced and interesting as a person than the lead in this movie. And then you have Mary Stuart Masterson, who has like an arc, and then Eric Stoltz, who is just like more likable and interesting in sort of his desires to be an artist and what he wants to do with his life, and his conflict with his dad. All that I think is better than what you have with Ronald here with Patrick Dempsey's character. So he basically is a nerd. He doesn't like being a nerd, and he has been working mowing lawns all summer, so he has this money. So he makes this deal with this girl that he'll give the $1,000 to her if she agrees to date him, because his theory is basically that like you can buy love, that and buy popularity and the adulation of the students, and fit in finally with who he wants to fit in with. And she says, no way, that's not possible. There's no way that will work. But she agrees to it because she needs money to replace this outfit that she ruined of her mom's, this designer outfit. She agrees, and she sees that he was basically actually right, and that like him dating her does move him up. But the problem is it goes to his head. And my biggest problem with Ronald's character in this movie is that not only does it go to his head, but he just treats everybody really badly. I mean, especially all the other female characters. Like, he doesn't necessarily treat Cindy that well, but especially any of the other female characters are completely disposable. Like, at least in Some Kind of Wonderful, you have two female characters who are dynamic, interesting, have arcs, have something to them. Here, like, he literally will have sex with a girl and then never deal with anything. Like, completely disposable, these women, if it's not Cindy. And so that's frustrating. And the way that he treats his friends is also very disposable. He's very selfish, and I just don't think that he has like enough of an arc to like come around and realize that he was such a jerk. I don't think we see enough penance. I don't think we see enough change. And he also treats Cindy pretty badly. Like, when they stage this breakup, he's pretty harsh on her and cold to her. And so it just makes his character very unlikable. And it's hard for us to root for him to get Cindy or any girl the way that he treats people. And I think the movie, if it was going to go that route, it would need to be a lot funnier, or sort of develop some of these other characters better. So we were sort of invested, like I said, with Some Kind of Wonderful or even Breakfast Club, where we have a bunch of characters that we're sort of following. Can't Hardly Wait. That would be another one that kind of develops a bunch of characters. Then it might have worked better and it just had this as one little plot line. But as the main plot line, it's hard to root for Ronald because he's just such a jerk and so selfish. And he kind of gets what he wants in the end. So did money buy love? Yeah, it kind of did. He gets what he wants and he doesn't have to change that much. And so that's a problem. But I can understand people, especially if you have nostalgia for it. Patrick Dempsey is quite charming. He's a pretty hunky nerd. Like, he's believable as a nerd, but he's also pretty hunky. His hair is something else in this, so that's fun. It definitely has those 80s feel, the 80s music, all of that. So yeah, I can understand why it is a nostalgic favorite of some, but it didn't really hold up for me on the watch this time. So anyway, that's sort of my thoughts on Can't Buy Me Love. Let me know what you think of this movie. Is it a favorite of yours? Where would it lie for you as far as the 80s teen movie rom-com kind of group? Where would it lie for you? I'd be very curious. And thanks so much. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. I would really, really appreciate it. Remember to check out my playlist with all my Teen Movie Month reviews. That would be amazing. I would love your feedback on all of them. And also make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. I'm getting closer and closer to 5K, and that would really help me out a lot. And I have my Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything that I'm doing. And you get to be part of watch-alongs and Q&As with talent, and also be part of bonus episodes. We just had a bonus episode this week on Bridgerton. So you should definitely check out the Patreon. I really try hard to make it worth your investment. And then have the merch store with tons of fun designs, movie-inspired designs, and more. Check that out. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.